It doesn't
Okay,
matter
I
what
know.
time is it.
Yes, I know. Okay, so welcome everyone for the training camp webinar that we will start today until 3 consecutive days. We will have 3 lecturers, and Mr. Ria as ABC Jakarta Director would like to introduce them to you. Pak Ria, time's yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Ria. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and very good evening for our bro Thomas from Paraguay. So I think thank you that you are available to talk here, because I know the time difference is very high, and you will be finished midnight maybe, or maybe when our finish you will be in the morning already. So thank you very much for coming. Mr. Thomas is the lecturer of World Athletic for level 1 and level 2, and he's based on throwing event and combined event, and he has a lot of high-level athlete in Paraguay in South America. Thank you, Thomas, for coming. And the second one, I think everybody knows our chief coach from India. By his very warm hand or cold hand, a lot of Indian athletes come to the world level. Mr. Prabhakaran Radhakrishnan Nair. I think thank you also, Mr. Nair, to come. And India this time is very aggressive to do the courses and also development education for the coaches. So thank you for Mr. Nair to be here, and will share the knowledge and maybe experience, a lot of experience with us here. And last but not least,
Thank you, Mr. Ria.
Thank you, Mr. Nair. And last but not least, our young blood, but a very bright one, Mr. Talha Ikhtiar from Pakistan. He is doing level 2 lecturer and level 1 in Korea, and he's doing some lecture in Pakistan. And I hope in the future, Pakistan will try to do a lot of education again. And this time, Mr. Talha will talk about the event characteristic, how to coach them, and how to do the plan together. So I hope this courses or this workshop is very, very beneficial for you all. I know that some of you already done strength and conditioning, and this is the second activities for ADC. So I think this is the most important thing, that you combine between the strength and conditioning and the training plan. So the first activities in ADC in 2024 was 6 to 8 April. And now we do the second one, is training plan. So we combine each other, and hopefully this will be easy to do. Timon, any question? Because you are your arm? No. Okay. Then we still have some activities actually this year in ADC. It will be the photo finish judge course, about 3 days. She is at level 2 lecturer. So this is can be refresher, because now we have new system in level 2 and level 1. Then we will do the mentor course in webinar, and TOEIC level 1 lecturer course. This is will be on person. Then CCS level 2 course middle long distance and throwers. And nutrition webinar, safeguarding webinar, and competition management webinar. So please pay attention for the activities that you can join, or maybe your federation will send you or send some other people to join the ADC activities this 2024. So actually now our region is getting stronger and stronger, with India has a lot of athletes for high performance and performance high performance in the athletic, and also Pakistan, some thrower also very good. And also another event for the Thailand, for example, they have a lot of sprinter, good sprinter. So I do hope that by having these activities, we can start, and we can the next start to have more performance in the future. So before I start with the first session, because I will continue with the long athlete development, I would like to invite Mr. Thomas, Mr. Nair, and Mr. Talha to introduce themselves. Please first to give time to Mr. Thomas to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I was born in Europe, especially in Hungary, and grew up there during the communism regime. So it was for athletes. It was a very good opportunity because the government helped us to make sport the better way, the best way. We have everything. So my trainer was a very good person, as like my father, and delivered us to in the most important knowledges in athletics, techniques, training systems. So I fall in love with training and always want to be a trainer. It's very interesting because my family was principal doctors, my mother, my sister, and they want to push me in the hospital, but I wasn't. So I grew up in the track and field, and I fall in love in it. I was a decathlete, 16 times Hungarian national champions, mostly in throwing events, in jumping events, and also in combined events. International level 2, I am more than 8,000 points, so it wasn't bad in that time. And very early age, I decided to be a trainer. The Hungarian teaching system is very different. There are no courses. They need to learn everything university level. So I made a 4 years training system as like a bachelor level. And because I was a decathlete, so I have a sense, I have a knowledge, almost all the kind of athletics events as like hurdles, throwing, jumps, and I'm decided to work on it. Then I moved to Paraguay as like 2 decades before, and I have more than 300 national record here and different ages and different age groups. So I was 4 different Olympic Games, World Championships, and I can tell you all of you, Mr. Pakri was my guide to be here and help me to teach people in southern part of Asia. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you.
Thank you, Thomas. And now, Mr. Nair, our chief.
Thank you, Mr. Ria, Dr. Ria, and Mr. Thomas and Mr. Muhammad Ali. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Here we are.
I've seen most of the participants are my students in level 1 as well as in level 2. I'm chief national coach for Indian team for last 12 years, and we have in a reforming stage of athletics, and you can say transforming stage of athletics coming up, not to that very high level. We had one gold medal in the last Tokyo Olympics, so we expect little more medal, means can say more than one medal in the coming Olympics. Preparing for that, and we are conducting level 1 courses, level 2 courses in India every year, at least 12 level 1 courses and 10 level 2 courses, and even this course combined even sprint and hurdles, middle distance. This year also we had one in the winter. We had 5 level 2 courses, and now we are planning another 5 level 2 courses in India in October, November. That is as per the availability. So I am not introducing much about me. Most of you, like Mafasa, and all knows me very well because I was conducting level 1 lecture in Malaysia as well as in Maldives and in my country as well. So most of the participants are from my students. So no much introduction about me. Thank you. Already Mr. Ria has introduced me. Thank you, Ria, for inviting me to this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nair, our chief coach. And Mr. Talha, please.
Yeah. Hello all. My name is Talha. As Ria already introduced me, that I'm a lecturer from World Athletics, and other than that, I'm working as an assistant professor in a college, guiding research students regarding the athletic researches. And recently, we are doing really good researches on the training plans. So I'll be sharing some in this seminar. In addition to that, I am working with the young athletes, basically college athletes, and they are definitely improving by following these good training plans. And hopefully I'll share some with most of them with you, so you can guide your athletes to improve in a very short period of time. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Talha, for the good introduction. And Ibu Ria, can I continue with my presentation to
Yes,
begin
sure.
this seminar?
Yes,
Okay,
sure,
thank you
Ria.
very much for
Please.
all the lecture. Thank you, Thomas. I just came back from Hungary last year for the World Championship. I think I'm looking for you, but I didn't meet you there. It is your country, very beautiful country. And also from India, I just came back this year, early this year, I think, for level 2 lecturer with Mr. Nair and Mr. Gunther and Mr. Simon.
Sapani.
Yeah. Last year or this year, Mr. Nair?
This year, Sapani and Simon.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for inviting me also, and Mr. Talha, thank you. So let me continue for maybe 30 minutes before Mr. Thomas will start with, because I don't want to make Mr. Thomas too long week in the night. So I will give him later the time after 30 minutes. So I would like to share the presentation first. My presentation is just simple because I think we already know in our concept, this is a long-term athlete development. So we can learn this in level 2 actually. So I just want to little bit resume because you will discuss about the training plan. So when we talk about the training plan, we talk about how to make athletic achieve the best performance in the correct time, in the correct age also if possible. So that's why we can see here that athletic is actually not early sport development, not early sport achievement, but it's late development sport. So that means from the word that intent what rank, a lot of athletes coming with the age. For example, the sprinter with the 27, 26, 25, or maybe some 400 meter 23. In women, even the youngest one is 24. So I think this perspective for the sprinter, when you want to achieve the high performance in the world level, said this is the age. And for the field event like jumper and thrower, this also is not less than 20. This around even the thrower come with 31 years old. This in hammer, for example. And in women also 29, still perform in 10 world. And also in the jumping, also the tendencies in the similar. So that means the graphic will be like this. This is for sprint and hurdle. Only special one is 400 meter with 23 coming in the final. So here for the jumping event, you see the graphic and the average for the graphic. And here for the throwing event. So that means we have to plan our training with the correct one, with very carefully, because when you fail to plan, that means you plan to fail. There is something say in our system. So here all the development in our event. sprint event, jumping event, and throwing event. It's all come something like that. So that means please be patient when you are coach the athlete, because you have to come with a very early years and up to the maybe 27, 28, 29. So can be 15 years process. So here the IAAF has a stage of development. I think everybody knows in level 1. This is stage 1 is kid athletic. Stage 2 is multi-event development. This is normally kid athletic is level 0. And level 2, level 1 coming with a multi-stage, multi-event. Then this is the level 3 is event group development, like a sprint group, a middle long distance group, jumping group, and throwing group, for example. And we have the specialization and high performance. So that means this 5 stage with 4 level of 3 level of coach. You can come with the level 1 in multi-event, level 2 in event group development, and level 3 for specialization. Then coming to academic with the performance. So here the training age is can be kid athletic until 3 years training, and then 5 years in multi-event. Event group is 7 years, specialization 8 to 9 years, and performance. So according to the development biological, the kid athletic can be 6 to 11. Then multi-event can be 10 to 14 or 15. Then continue with level in our education system, CECS. So here, interesting to have the, in the age, what you have the window of training of the athlete. For example, the skill window is very important for the young age. So you cannot come too fast to the strength and conditioning. But we have to see here, the skill window is very important in order to make the athlete can do many movements. So then multilateral development. So then speed window is here because when you play with the speed, when your athlete playing speed, that means he or she will develop strength also of the leg, of the arm, and aerobic capacity. So here later we'll discuss by other lecture that we will have some key element to train. When you put in the session on the microcycle, then you have to consider about what your athlete age. So that means you can put some windows opportunity of training here. Then for the boys, I think a little bit late comparing to the girl, because you know that in the growth and development, the boys growing a little bit later. So the principle is the similar. And now we come to the stage number 1, kids athletic, 7 to 11 years old. We don't need to have a periodization, but you will play with many activities like agility, balance, coordination, and speed. So that is very important. According to our window of opportunity, agility, balance, coordination, and speed is very, very important to put in the 7 to 11 years old. That's why normally we'll do here in the early age. Then we come like in the kids athletic, ABC of athletic, fundamental running, jumping, and throwing, and motor innovation at a contralateral. You can throw by right and left, and you can jump by left takeoff and right takeoff, and everything you have to try for the athlete, throwing and takeoff, rotating. You can rotate right, rotate left, and seesaw, and everything you can do when you throw or jumping. So here is motor innovation. Then skill of other sport. Of course, in the 7 to 11, you don't close on the athletic, but you should also introduce the kid to do gymnastic exercise. That's why in this age, the coach is very important to put the fundamental of the action, of the movement. So when you are in the beginnings, I mean in the coach for the beginning athlete, so you have to understand many things like rotational movement, balance, swinging, dribbling, anticipating, and all of the movement, even swimming, sometimes you have to do. So that's why the teacher of physical education is very important and play a big role in this age. Then when coming to the 11 to 13 years, we can start with the planning with a single periodization, and we can start with physical skill and motor learning opportunity. So that means we can start in the, for example, transfer from kid athletic to level 1, multi-event. So we know already the physical literacy and many other movement that based on this movement go to the athletic event. I know 13 to 15 years is the real coming to the development stage that you come with the athletic, real athletic. That means you will take for coaches, level 1 coaches course, and you can make the periodization, single or double, because the kids like to have the competition actually. But the problem is how to manage the competition is not pushing them to be perform with a high performance method. Maybe Mr. Talha later will talk about this, about based on his experience and experiment and also research in the university. So here we can do the double periodization for the first time and try to make sure that the build up is strong. Don't make too very specific thing too much, but it will be the basic movement, basic technical, and everything must be very strong here. And in this age, of course, the preferably a single periodization plan. But if you have the demanding in your country, a lot of club, a lot of competition, then you can do maybe double periodization. Like in Europe, for example, every week we can find the competition in many cities. So that means we can plan more. The periodization can be double periodization for this age, but some additional competition can we can do. And this is the specialization stage. Normally we do in level 2, in level 2 CECS. So the optimal biological age is 15 to 18, single or double periodization. So you really can start with the training to maybe training to compete. This time is competition is very important in order to build up the training system. Without competition, I think it's not easy to train all the time in the field, but you have no competition. So that's why here the double periodization is essential. You can put more double periodization in this place. How to compete, any kind of circumstances, and maybe you can just variety competition system. Okay, so now the training is more individualized because when you do in level 1 in the multi-event, maybe the training is in the group is more important because you have to develop mental skill and also social skill. But here, maybe you can start with the individualized. You can start with training with individual program. But of course, in the field, we can communicate between one and other. Okay, now we come to the performance stage. There is 18 plus. You can use single, double, or multiple periodization or block periodization. After this, Mr. Thomas will talk about the block periodization and linear periodization. I think this will be very, very challenging for you, how to use the single periodization or how to use the regular periodization and how to use the block periodization. Even you can use undulating periodization. So in this time, you have the intensity frequency in training is high, and also the training load and recovery need to be done nicely to have the good adaptation. And here, neuromuscular, metabolic, structural load and mental load is constant to be trained by a good loading. So that means you have 4 kind of load. This is neuromuscular load, like technical, like how to do the coordination. Then metabolic load is according to the energy system, what you train energy system, maybe aerobic, anaerobic, lactic. There is neuromuscular and metabolic. This is metabolic load. And the structural load, when you have many contact time with the ground, for example, jumping, plyometric, multiple jump, it can be the structural load. So you have to be careful when you put the training session. You have to see what kind of load you will put in the session as a training unit. So neuromuscular, metabolic, structural, and of course, mental preparation. So that's all for the stage of training. So according to the competition system, we will see here that every stage we try to provide the competition. So here, for example, the place of competition anytime in the years of the stage 1 and 2 and 3, and training is structure for long-term development, not peaking. So this important here is not peaking, because peaking is coming when you already in the stage number 5 or stage number 4 can be make peak in one period. But here it's not peaking, but it is like you can do many competition, but it's competition as a training. So that means your concern is to develop the athlete, how they feel the training, how they learn the training, how they learn the competition, how they learn the competition through training or the training through competition. So this is something that is very important to understand. When you training at 1 to 6, don't peak too much. But you can do many competition, but it's not peaking. Yeah. Then when you already training for 7, 8, 9 years, then you can start with the good training structure. Then you can make a shape to peak in the periodization. So you can start to win here, compete and win. Yeah. Maybe in stage number 4, training to compete, really competition. But in the stage 5 is training to win, how to win. Because in the stage number 5 is performance, high performance. You can go to the high performance level. So a lot of case in our region that a lot of athletes come back to the high performance too early. Then after that, they not perform again in the senior level. So maybe it's difficult to calculate one by one, but it's many. So that's why we have to be careful when you plan in the long-term athlete development. So you have to make sure that your athlete can perform not in the beginning, not in the kids athletic, multi-event or event group development, but you can perform after in the specialization and performance. Yeah, of course, it's not that mean you cannot go to competition. You can go to competition, many competition, no problem in this level. But important is the peaking is later. You not need to peaking with the high performance. And the last but not least, I would like to read a little bit about the principle of the long-term athlete development. Young athlete are not miniature of adult. I think we learned already for a long time in level 1 and level 2 with the fundamental of coaching. The book is still updated now, and this will be great if you understand about this principle. Then the next principle will be the pushing athlete develop too quick and rushing competition can result injury. So this is what I told you before, that don't push too much to the athlete in the early age, in the young age. So please avoid injury. Try to minimize the risk of injury, because sometimes injury may stop the athletics. And burnout is more worse, because burnout means this already burn and they will not come back to not only athletic but maybe in sport. They will not come back to sport. And shortcoming in the athlete, physical, technical, tactical, we can see here that mental abilities is also important. So that way, this one must be done in the correct time, in the correct situation. And please hear the stagnation of performance development in build-up training, drop out, under 20. Many athlete who win under 20 is not coming in the World Championship in athletics, or they cannot come back in the final in the World Athletic Championship, or maybe in Olympic, or maybe in Asian Games. So that means you have to be careful when you handle the athlete. Then when coming to stagnation of performance, this will be big problem. So that's why before that, we try to avoid to pushing training and also to use the wrong method in training. Here, athletics is a late specialization sport. Even specialization is not advocated before age 15 to 16. So just starting 15 to 16, you try to go mainly in the specialization. But before that, I think you have to teach the athlete a lot of movement, multilateral development. And kids athletic is teaching us to have the multilateral development in athletic. So that's why we have the tool, kids athletic. And now you can learn kids athletic from our e-learning platform. You can open e-learning World Athletic, then you can register, then you can open kids athletic. And then you know the principle when you coach kids athletic in the early age. So, but then after that, you come to level 1. This is around 14 to 18 years athlete, or 14 to 17. So this time is a little bit come to the specialization and this learning about how to coach the athletics. And the World Athletic Development aim to provide each athlete with appropriate training, competition, and recovery schedule. So of course, the World Athletic trying to provide, but how about the member federation? How about your federation? What is the competition system in your federation? And what is the arrangement, your training plan to adapt the competition system in your federation? Normally, problem in our country is the federation not given clear competition schedule. So that means this coach is not easy to plan because they don't have any schedule of competition, the real schedule of competition. Maybe they have the national competition, but they don't have any other like provincial, like district competition and club competition. Is normally is not that provided by planning well. So that means a little bit disaster for compete in this. And the last but not least is to ensure the optimum development of the genetic talent. So in level 1 and level 2, we know how to do the talent identification, then how to develop talent. So this about in athletic training is about how to find the talent and how to develop the talent by having the good method and good training structure, training load, and planning. So the planning is very important. That's why today we organize the activities in order to make you more understanding about how to plan training in your club or your country. I think this is just initial information for you in order to make sure that Mr. Thomas will continue with some information, and Mr. Nair, also Mr. Talha, will make us good discussion later. So thank you very much for joining this workshop and also this webinar. Hopefully you enjoy 3 days webinar. Thank you very much. And I give back the time to Ibu Ria to handle this. Thank you, Ibu Ria.
Thank you so much, Pak Rialing. And so we come to the following lectures. Mr. Thomas, class is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see what we talk about. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, clear.
Okay, I try to open it. Now it's a full screen. Everyone can see. Let me ask you, Mr. Ria, can I talk about some I have 1 hour, yes? Can I talk about the history of the planning? Because maybe something is very important to know when it started and how it started. Are you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As everybody knows, the planning is part of our life. We plan everything and try to make everything well organized and structured. At least this will be normal in life. In sport, it is essential to plan, which has to be well structured and has different forms. 1,000 years before, in the history, in the Greek physician Flavius included simple forms of planning in the ratings and considered one of the first proponent of periodization. The Greeks makes 4 days blocks, and they repeating 4 times and always increasing the load of the training. Did you hear about? Somebody heard about that? It was a question for all of you. If somebody know about the Greek periodization, 4 days, it means like everybody hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because no one answered. It was a question. Someone know about the 4 days periodization, what the Greeks did or not? Okay, it was very simple, but they do. How they do it? The very first day, one repetition, the second day 2, the third day 3, the fourth day 4, and they come back. But the next 4 days block started 2, 3, 4, 5, and the next 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. It was very interesting. Then the Roman also expressed concern about the intensity of the training of the Greek Olympians. He made a distinction between mind and body, the need to relax after the training, but and psychological relaxation. And then, passing a lot of time in the beginning of the 20th century, Boris Koto, 1916, proposed the book of Olympic sport, model of the 3 periods of continuous training in a cycle of competition. Between 1920s, 30s, Gorniewski, book of fundamental basis of training. And there was Piccola. He was very famous. Piccola was a Finnish. He was a trainer of Paolo Nurmi. He innovates with the use of interval work and alternating jogging with speed, even incorporates control of partial race time. Then Grantney, in the 1940s, incorporates period of change programming focus. Ozolin, in 1950, specified the long-term programming, specificity of the program training, maintaining that is the particularity of the physiological aspect of each subject. Then Letunov, 1950, this psychological program. And then we arriving in the traditional Matveyev, popularized this theory of annual periodization. It's a coon of a lot of training program. He's very famous. Matveyev intended to transfer the theory to process of achieving sports form through training. One of the most important aspects of traditional periodization is that the period is preparatory, competitive, and transition. very differentiated the term of content and orientation of training, and this division of the season sport in repeated cyclicality. After this, after the guy, Medvedev, with the improvement of technology and information, the communication, many studies began to appear on planning and periodization in sport. Up until today, we can do it every day. Is coming a new studies and the different kind of investigation in athletics and in speed, especially a lot of new term of periodization works. In high level, the very first time there was just a periodization like 4 years, the Olympic, that was the most important. They coming the world championships, then youth, junior world championships. And the periodization could be changed. The traditional wasn't work anymore. So the people looking and find the new solutions with a new system of competition in athletics. Okay, so let me see how it's going. The periodization in sport and its planning. Periodization is a concept, not a model, because the people always looking at, give me a training model. How can I give you? Is it, your guy is 16 years. Most of all guys are more than 20, are working in a high level. So I can give you a model, but I can give you how I can do that. What does it mean, periodization? Okay. So it is a concept, systematic attempt to gain control over training, adaptive response while preparing for a competition. This concept is created with help of several keys, as we can see on the screen. Which keys are these? Key elements, which can be divided into two parts, the planning, macrostructure and microstructure. And the periodization in sports refers to the systematic organization and planning of training over a given period of time. When I started to make sports, there was 4 years planning, because the Olympic Games was the main sport event, and our country was very interested to gain a lot of medals. Especially, I don't know, do you know that? But Hungary is the country. They won the major quantity of medals per person of the country. Do you understand what I mean? So I'm expressing well. So the sport was very high level, and we start to understand what does it mean periodization, what does it mean training session, what does it mean planning in sport, and we was part of that. And it's periodization in sport. It depends on several factors. For example, one of the most important is the young guy coming to you, at least objective. It's important to be clear about the objective to be achieved, because I want to be the national recorder in 100 meters, and you have sufficient knowledge to decide it could be or not. So the athlete objective is important to be clear. Okay, whatever is improve resistance, strength, speed, technique, etc. Okay. Let me see the part of periodization in sport. Depends on several factors. As we can see on the screen, the objective, the athlete, duration of season, competition calendar, it's absolutely including the periodization and how can we make the plan, physical abilities, current condition level. It's a new athlete, it's an athlete who have some years of training, general preparation phase, specific preparation phase, competition phase. Okay. For example, competition calendar is essential to know the dates of important competition and scheduled training phases so that peak form coincides with those key events. Physical abilities, the athlete's initial physical condition and athletics abilities. It will influence the structuring the training plan and the progress of the loads. General preparation phase, everybody know, when we're talking periodization, the general periodization phase is the very first initial stage. They aim to develop a solid foundation, cardiovascular endurance, general strength, coordination, basic technique. Training volumes are high, then the intensity is moderate. Then, let me talk about competition phase. It's a very important part of periodization. And it's an important factor too. In the stage prior to important, the important competitions, the training volume is reduced and the intensity is increased to optimize the performances. And the recovery phase, some people is using as like a vacation, but in high level athletes, they need to maintain the performance level. They must need the physical levels in good condition. Training periodization, methodical strategy. Training periodization is organized, must be organized. And can we see some basic elements of macrostructure? Do you remember we have macrostructure and microstructure? Systematic approach. Strategy of distribute training loads. Define structure for progress. Approaches building subsequent training units. Set time frame for executing the plan. Complex training containing all elements. So these elements are very important to be a part of the microstructure. Then the basic elements of microstructure are microcycle, mesocycle, microcycle, sessions, and training units. Microcycle, the entire year of training season, which range from months to entire year. It's a very basic element. Also, as I said, sometimes they calling macrocycle the 4-year cycle too. And the part of this 4 year, there are 4 different microcycles, the entire year or training season, which range from months to an entire year. Mesocycle, it's a part of macrocycle, are divided into shorter periods, are known as mesocycle. They last between 2 till 6 weeks, and usually end with a week of recovery or deloading. This microcycle I use to focus on different smaller goals, also known as phases. Some examples for different blocks of phases include, but are not limited to, the hypertrophy, strength phase, maximum power phase, accumulation phase, and also can call it a different part as like pre-competition phase, competition phase. Some countries they charge, and they can call different names, but it's most important. But everybody know what does it mean. So if they spend charge phase, then you need to talk about strength training, hypertrophy training, maximum power training, and so on. Microcycle, we will talk about what does it mean microcycle. It was a part of our course. Within each microcycle, there are mesocycle, there are microcycle, which are your pre-planned weekly training routines. Parts of microcycle are training session and training unit. And now let me talk the type of training periodization. These 3 basically is the base of the periodization. One of the first, linear, traditional training periodization, or what is linear periodization. Sometimes they call Western periodization too. It is the classical periodization model that has been used for decades. Up until now, some countries or some trainers using, especially in the very early age, till 12, 13, 14, 16. But also we can use it when athletes started it at 16, 17, 18 years, and they has no capacities, no different capacities doesn't work before, just a beginner. The phase usually include endurance, hypertrophy, strength, and power focused training, lasting approximately 4 to 8 weeks each. Type the periodization is the most direct program, but links closer to your end goal. Linear periodization occurs when there is a constant increase in intensity, load while decreasing volume, and over a long period of time. Linear periodization works for all. Periodization works for most of the people. Whether your athlete is a beginner, they can still improve by staying consistent and adding more volume and intensity over time. Beginners are able to build muscle or recover faster, so they can progress linearly compared to more experienced athletes. The more experienced athletes need more time and variation to achieve a similar progress. That's why they don't use the linear. They use the other 2 blocks on undulating periodization. The traditional periodization plans for 1P, only knows as monocycle, focusing only on one major competition. It was before, when I was young, used that system. And that was one competition was the most important in the year. When I was 14, the national championship to my age. So that was the major competition. But it could be World Championships or Olympic Games. Someone up until now they using it. Some very good athletes. I can tell you last year, for example, in heptathlon, there was a couple of athletes. The World Championship was the very first heptathlon competition for them. It's just an example. Did you hear that? Are you here? Listening?
Listening. Yes.
Okay. It's not. You aren't bored? It's not too bored. Okay. Linear periodization is structured, progressive approach to planning sport training over a specific period of time, usually divided into phases: general preparation and to competition. Here's a summary of you need to know about linear periodization. What is it for? Performance optimization. Linear periodization seeks to maximize athletic performance at a specific time, such as a major competition. It's very good for injury prevention by providing a gradual progression in training load. It helps reduce the risk of injury, allowing the body to properly adapt to physical demands. Systematic development allows you to develop different aspects of sport. Motivation and focus provides clear goals and the defined direction training. Okay. Let me see how is the linear. As you can see, the volume and the very general physical training, the volume is very high. The intensity it's medium, and technique specificity is very low. Note that an increase in intensity, there is a simultaneous decrease in exercise volume. Training technique specific increases in parallel with training intensity. This is linear periodization. This is the base of the linear periodization. Direct lines, decreasing and increasing. Sport-specific training, and then finishing with the competition. Yeah. It's well-structured, progressive approach, planning sport training over a specific period divided into phase general preparation and competition. As can we see a preparatory competition and then the transition phase. It's very good for performance optimization, injury prevention, as we see. It's gradual progression, easy to understand and follow. Gradual progression is periodization allows for a gradual and systematic progress in training over time. This can help minimize the risk of injury and overtraining by allowing the body to gradually adapt to higher training loads. Easy to understand. The linear structure which clearly defined phases such as general preparation, specific preparation, competition, and recovery. It's easy to understand for both coaches and athletes. This can make it easier to implement and monitor the training plan. Increased focus on long-term planning. That linear periodization tends to focus on long-term goals, which can help athletes stay focused on their long-term goals and steady work toward them through the season. That's why we can say we can use it a young athletes and the new athletes who just getting in the athletics, just start to training, maybe coming from the other sport. And it's very easy to control the load. Having clearly defined phases, trainers can control training load more effectively and adjust the necessary to optimize performance and minimize the risk of injury. The other two, the block and the undulated, it's more powerful. And also, we can talk a little bit later on, it's harder to do for the athlete. That we see in a lack of variety. Linear structure can result in very monotonous and repetitive training, or can be seen very bored, which can lead to boredom and lower motivation on the parts of athletes. So that's why we have to change after a time. Less adaptability. Unlike block periodization, linear periodization may be less adaptable to the athlete's individual needs and change in circumstances. This may limit the ability to adjust training as needed through the season. Risk of stagnation. Hey coach, 1 year before I run the same time, but what's going on? What can we do? How can we change? Maybe two athletes come to you and can ask it. The training plan is not properly adjusted to provide sufficient variety and stimulation. Athletes may experience stagnation in their progress and performance. So we can care about that. Potential cumulative fatigue. It's not managed. Fatigue is incredible. It's not managed properly. The constant building of training load through the season can lead to cumulative fatigue and increase the risk of overtraining. But it could be the part of psychological part too. Can we change it? I remember when I'm start to train a guy, it was 25 years. I have a big injuries in the ankle, and he was a soccer player, and asked me to train him, and I offered the athletics, especially the sprint. He started at 25, and when he got 30, was in the Olympic Games in 100 meter and ran the national record of Paraguay. Then was the national record of Paraguay. And the very first year, he always asked me, can we do any other thing? Because it's very boring. And I told him just the way to do that. We need to build that everything in your body. You are 25 years, you make sports all your life, but the athletics, especially the sprints, need the basic work. And I know it's very bored, but this is your basic and you need to do that. And then he understand it and do that and make 18 Paraguayan records in 100, 200, 4x4, 4x100, 60 meter under the roof. So it was very good. In summary, linear periodization in athletics offer gradual progression and effective control of training load, but may lack variety, as I said, and adaptability compared to block periodization. The choice between the two depends on the training objective, the individual need of the athlete, and not the factor. For the athlete, it could be boring, as we say. So that was the between the three that we see. The linear was the very first, and let me see now the block. Uses specific blocks of training time dedicated to specific type of training, physical qualities, adaptation, general, specific composition blocks. In many aspects, the blocks periodization presents the same concepts as linear, but with a more flexible approach. The better suits those athletes who need to compete several times in the same year. I remember we worked very first in one main competition that came in two competition because the most of the athletes competing under roof and the open season too. So indoor season and open season. So there was two important competition. It's up until now, the same. Block periodization is contemporary model that has its origin in the concept of training blocks, applied several coaches from the 80s, specialized for example, in throwing events, as like Anatoly Bondarchuk, on Isurin, who used it in the cycle. The training blocks would be cycle of few weeks of concentrated and highly specialized training that would be enough to cause morphological, organical, and biomechanical change in the body. This concept was developed, implemented, and tested in practice and published in periodization model by Isurin and Keverin. It's very important to know. They were the very first who talked about that. The block training system from the need to increase the performance according to trend accelerated in the competition that arose. And the end of 70s, the beginning of the 80s of the 20th century, Verhochansky, who after studying psychology applied to sports training, got it. Responsibility for carrying out the reviews necessary to reach the construction of the structure. However, its use also it is valid in long test rate 1985. Verhochansky. When the people asking me who was the father of the planning, I'm always speaking about Russians, but the very last year there was a lot of new ideas in programming of periodization. The general principle, the periodization, insulin, training concentration. Only highly concentrated training produces sufficient stimulus. Reduction of skills, consents to be worked due to the concentration. Contents to be worked on of training. The number of contents that can be developed at the same time reduced to 2 or 3 maximum. Consecutive development of the training content. Given the reduction of the contents that can be developed in each block, the sequencing of the contents in the block training option, taking advantage of the residual effect of the training of each of most motor skills or techniques. Okay, can we see the training blocks must be specialized and organized in a specific order. The mesocycles of accumulation, transformation, and realization are this axis of the model that we are explaining. So I don't want to talk about so much because it's very boring, but there can be see motor and technical skills to develop, the accumulation phase, basic skills, endurance, basic strength, transformation phase, specific skills, specific resistance, strength resistance, technical improvement, and the realization, comprehensive preparation model in maximum speed. And the volume, intensity, high volume, low intensity, the accumulation. Transformation, low volume, increase the intensity. And the realization phase is low, medium volume, and very high intensity before the computation. As can you see, this is the block periodization. High, level, moderate, and low. High, moderate, and low. And in the very first block, the intensity, moderate, the volume is very high. The contraction, the velocity also moderate. Then the intensity is increased, the volume is less, and the concentration in the velocity also. And the very last and third blocks, intensity, volume, and contraction are different. That we talk about the advantage. Specialization allows greater specialization in different aspects or athletics. That's why we're using it the ages after 18, 19, or professional level, such as strength, speed, endurance. This can lead to more specific performance improvement, specialization. Advantage also the variability, dividing training into specific blocks, greater variety, introduce the training program. This can help prevent boredom and stagnation, and can also be helpful in maintaining the athlete's motivation. The motivation is very important. It's happened with me about my training system. Simplified, the athletes coming to me and talk to me. I will change, professor, because they're using other elements, they're using more varieties, and it's more fun. They change training, but this guy forget the preparation phases, which phase were in that moment. Okay, it's very interesting because coming to you in at least 14 years, 15 years, and it's very bored the training system because it's linear. We need to build up a lot of capacities of these athletes. And maybe you're seeing the other guys, the same age, but started 5 or 6 years before, and they're doing more skills, more interesting things, and calling attention, and he's thinking that is the best way, and simply they change. Do you understand? Hands up. Adaptability. Block periodization allows training to be adapted more precisely to the individual's needs and athlete and the specific objective of the session or competition. Don't forget, when we make a plan, we can make an early age group the same training for all of them, but normally, when they are growing up, the periodization must be individual. And also, advantage is performance management, focusing on specific effects of performance during set periods of time. Coaches can be better manage training load and avoid overtraining and injury, but also have a disadvantage. Block division. The training session is divided into blocks of time, typically several weeks, several months, each with a specific focus on developing certain physical capabilities of technical skills. Greater planning required blocking periodization may require more delayed and careful planning by the coach to ensure that all important areas of athletic performance are adequately addressed. Increase the risk is overtraining. You need to care and you need to manage properly, introducing highly intensive training blocks and short periods of time.
خورده بود
یعنی-
بهش کشم و قرض دادم بعد ببین قیافش اصلا دعوا کردم حالش بد شد خب گفتم این دیگه خب میاره دیگه فرداشو من لیلی دیگه کشیده میگیری
Hola,
Sorry,
hello.
sorry.
بازم یه فش بشه
Okay, sorry. Don't know why.
Okay. Need for flexibility. Coaches and athletes must be flexible and able to adjust the training plan as necessary as training blocks. They need to be modified based on the athlete's individual.
آره اون دو ساعت
Okay, let's talk about block periodization in athletics, training planning strategy used to maximize athlete performance through the session and training cycle. Block division, type of blocks, can vary based on the athlete needs and training goals, but are commonly divided into build-up blocks, intensification blocks, and competition blocks. Intensification blocks, the focus shift to increasing training intensity with emphasis on the developing speed, specific strength, and anaerobic endurance. Training volumes can be reduced while intensity increases. Competition block. This block is done just before the main competition and focuses on the optimizing performance for specific events. Training volumes are reduced and maintaining physical fitness and mental fitness is periodized. Individualized planning. The block periodization allows for more individualized training planning, taking into account the strengths, weakness, and specific objects. And monitoring and adjustment. It's important to monitor the athletes' progress during each training section, training blocks. Make adjustments necessary to ensure established goal and being met. In summary, the block periodization in athletics offer advantages such as specialization, variability, adaptability, but also present challenges such as possibly lack of continuity and increased risk of overtraining if not managed appropriately. Let me resume what we talked today. The remain difference between linear periodization and block periodization in the context of athletics lies in how training is organized and structured over time. Linear periodization, training progress gradually and linearly over time with a continuous progression in training load, usually divided into clearly defined phases such as general preparation, specific preparation, competition. Periodization in block. Training is divided into shorter specific blocks, each with a particular focus on certain themes and aspects of athletics performance. Each block can last from few days to several weeks. In short, linear periodization follows more uniform and continuous progression over time, while block periodization organizes training into specific blocks, each with a different focus, which can allow for more specific and varied adaptation. The choice between one or the other is depend the training objectives, the needs of the athletes, and other factors specific to each situation. So that was, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit long, 1 hour, but you can hear what does it mean linear and what does it mean block, and how can we use it in athletics. So I finished it. I hope you enjoyed that, my presentation. And it was very, this material I will give to, if someone want to use that for planning, and you can use it in the future with young athletes, with high performance athletes, and can help you to build up the periodization in your work. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Excuse me, can I have one clarification about, I'm Deepak Kumar from India.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coach, as you said in your slides, the linear periodization need more time, gradual progression, easy to understand. Then how we can say it will less adaptability?
Less adaptability because it's always working with the same system, and maybe we have to change that the skills we need to change, more specific training you need. You need to change the system of the load differences. So that's why it's linear. It's just increasing, and decreasing and decreasing. It's not good for a different. For example, if this year you have 3 very important competition, you can't use that because it's very short time you have between one and the other competition. Can you understand? So
So I'm
yeah,
little bit confused still
yeah,
with your opinion. Once we are saying linear will take progressive, gradual progression. Gradual progression, if it is taking, then adaptability time will be the more, I think.
yeah,
Then it is contradictory in the statement. Then in the advantage slide, you shown us easy to understand and gradual progression, and in disadvantage, you mentioned less adaptability. So I am little bit confused about it. How both the things
It's
can
more
possible.
like it's more like slow adaptability. Slow, not like less in terms of
yeah, no, yes,
learning.
that's
It's
why.
slow. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, it's very slow.
Slow adaptability.
It's a negative.
Yes.
It's a negative part of linear training. Yeah, it's very worried about that too.
No, if okay, my concern is like that. If we are giving more time to any activity, then our that particular activity will be the more adaptive.
Okay, Deepak, the thing is the adaptation is slow, and when you are working with the young athletes, they get bored. They get bored really early. So that's
Okay.
what he's Thomas trying to point out, that that slow part makes it boring, and that's the negative part of linear progression.
Yeah, that's why I say that example. Why the young athletes want to change when see other guys working the other form, the same age. So that was my
Okay,
example.
it means you are trying to say that they are not due to boredom, they are learning less, right?
Yeah,
Is it
sure.
like that?
Yes.
Not
that.
not less, more likely slow.
Slow.
Slow learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, this other. Yeah, maybe I use a endless word.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, it's very good question. So another more question, please. Which is, it's time to ask and to clarify something. Please, coaches.
Yes, not so easy. Maybe while they think about questions, it's not so easy to make a training plan because there is a lot of things in it. The situation of athlete, where he is living, so you need to work with a lot of things. The weather could be, it's very difficult especially in South America because now we have autumn, and the northern part of the world is how can I say in English? It's not summer. It's just summer will come. So Easter, summer will come, and especially in South America, the months when the main part of the training we have to do, December, January and February, it's too hot. It's very difficult to organize the training well. It's also included the planning and the periodization of the training. While the northern part of the earth, the main competition they organize from May to September maximum, August, and this is the winter time here. It's cold and a lot of rains. It's very difficult to train well and competing there. So the periodization here is more difficult than the northern part of the globe. So just why I'm talking all this to my athletes in December, especially, and January, when the main part of our work, the very first part of the annual training. So it's very hard to work. It must be in the morning at 5 and 6 maximum, and very late night, because during the day it's over 40 degrees, and we haven't sufficient buildings and facilities to make a good training. So also playing in the periodization when we and what we have to work. So the mostly with the young athletes we using linear about that, and also blocks too. It's about the weather always. Just 2 seasons in our year, or very hot, or very much rain. It's very hot. You must know. I don't know, especially Pakistan or other parts, maybe Maldives. It could be the same weather in the whole year. It's very easy. It's very easy to work, and you can do everything outside. That's why Europeans going, for example, Femkeball, going to South Africa before the indoor session, because it is just easy to train on that part of the work. Can do everything. I remember when we training in Hungary in winter time, we were running on ice and in snow. It was very hard, but it was the only one option. Also, the facilities can involve in the periodization. Which facilities you have? You have a plastic track and field place, or just sand. It also changing the training system. What do you think about that? That's true?
Yes, the environment plays a very important role. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Weather and also the facilities. Do you remember the Kenyan runners? How they build up the training sessions? What they use, which skills you can use, and also other parts of the world, and they have good athletes. Also, in now we have facilities to move the other countries, but not everybody can do that. So when you're planning, when you make the plans, you can put it in the plan. We move to South Africa, we move to Europe, we move to, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody has indoor. In South America, we have just one place to make indoor competition in Bolivia. There's also also involves in when you make the planning, especially when you're making the weekly training plan, on the session plan, the unit, what can you use? Okay. Any other question? And thank you very much, India, Deepak. Okay, I will take care of the part. Yeah, I will look it for. Thank you very much. I will maybe I need to change some specification.
Thank you.
Or use other words as Talha called it.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So, Mrs. Vyasuti?
Yeah. Okay. Is there any question maybe? No? So okay, so maybe we can break 5 minutes, Thomas. So we will
Yeah,
continue,
okay.
and then we will continue with the second session. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we will break 5 minutes. We'll come to the class again, 10:56 then. Thank you.
It can be continued.
Okay. Okay, coaches. We will start with the following session. Okay, yes, Thomas. Time's yours. Thank you.
It was very interesting today in the morning. Here in the morning, Pakria called me and said to me, "You need to talk about the session too." It was originally it was planning for tomorrow, but you need you need to see my nice face. Still 1 hour more. So I hope.
It's okay. Still looks good.
Everybody will like.
Okay.
Everybody will agree. It's very nice. I really enjoy it. It's a very big responsibility to talk about in front of such a people, so many people, so many nations, so many culture. So it's very nice. I'm very happy to share with you. What about the sports I know and athletics? This is my life. It was always. So I hope we meet each other several times too. So let me see what does it mean, the training session. So I love to make planning and I like to teach planning. And I just saw after Deepak what said to me, and I felt very bad. But he was right. I have to change some words. Yeah, thank you very much. I very appreciate. Yeah, it's less. It's the good word is less. So that's why they burned. Okay, training session, and that we see what does it mean. Can somebody talk to us? What does it mean, training session? Just few words, just to make keep in touch and also to make attention. Someone who can say something, training session. Yeah, it's very hard. It's easy and not so.
As per my understanding, as per my understanding, training session is a unit in which we can include the main task as well as the our focused area for that particular session.
Yes, good. Other opinion? It's not, let me start.
Yes, other opinion, please, before Thomas get sleep.
No, no, don't worry.
Come on. Come on,
No,
other
please,
opinion,
don't
please.
tell. Don't tell, because I thought it will be going to 4 in the morning. The pity is I start to work at 5. So I just finished it and go to work. Maybe take a douche, and I tell to everybody, if I'm tired tomorrow, don't worry. I made the planning beforehand, so I give them what they have to do, because I have some particular training tools. It's not so easy, but I like it. Okay.
Maybe female voice.
Okay, let me.
Training session is providing knowledge and skills to others, athletes.
Let me see. I need to open the file. Training organization. I presume. And okay. Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Training organization. Okay. So when we talk about the periodization, there is microcycle, there is mesocycle, microcycle, and the part of the microcycle is like a brick, is a training organization or session. The training directions are the directional aspects of the athlete's preparation that will indicate not only the training content that an athlete must receive, but will also relate two basic categories of training and their determination. It's like a load and the method. I don't want to talk a lot of load and method. What does it mean? Because we have not enough time. So that we mentioned it, it's a part of the direction of the training. What is sport organization and planning meaning? It continues a way of organizing knowledge and ideas with the aim of organizing and developing training sessions during the season, and for them to bring together all the aspects of the game: tactical, physical, psychological, taking into account the competition calendar. This determining for Lopez in 2002. He defined what does it mean constitutes a way of organizing knowledge. Which is when we talking about characteristic of sessions, the sport training is a complete and planned process which aims to develop physical and psychological skills as well as mental skills of people so they can achieve their maximum performance. This process uses different techniques such as resistance, speed, strength, technique, and all. What is the objective of the training? sport training is a pedagogical progress designed to stimulate to psychological process of physiological process of the body, favoring the development of different psychical abilities and qualities. Its objective is to promote and consolidate sports performance. What is the structure and how to structure of the training session? Within any sports planning, there must be prior organization of what want to achieve and how it's going to be achieved. That organization can be distributed in analysis phase, because we have to analyze what we will to do and how. Set the overall goals and objectives, and the objectives must be clear and it could be realized. As I mentioned when we talked about the periodization, the basic thing of the periodization is the objective, and this objective must be achieved. Set the overall goals and objective, decide how this practice fits into the big picture of the microcycle and the period of training, where the prior study of the initial conditions in which the subject or subject are found will be carried out. So it's fundamental. Forecast phase, defining objective is key. This represents the goal you want to achieve. The structure of the objective must be applied both of sports planning and the session themselves. And we need to programming the phase, set expected goals and objectives, decide which skills, biomotor abilities, and energy system will be developed. And it depends on the calendar. You need to know when to schedule training sessions. But it's even more important to know when to schedule breaks, as the key to improving training. Furthermore, it is common for us to have to combine our training sessions with everyday life. Therefore, it is essential to agree on both aspects. When I meeting with my guys on the day, I'm always putting attention. The body is talking to you. How they moving, the aspects of the face of them, the eyes. And when I have a feeling not everything is going well, I need to ask it. For example, you have a plan, the training session today, my heptathlete have to make high-level technical skills and also sprints. And I asked them, I can feel you're tired. What happened in the night? Oh, nothing. I'm a little bit late go to bed because yesterday night was the birthday of my grandma. Ah, very interesting. And what happened? When you eat the very last time, it was almost midnight. Yeah, and what? It was a flash. And I just start to smile if you read Flash in midnight and now at 8 in the morning. So it could be this flash in your stomach up until now. So it's better if you're doing other things. Do we understand what I mean? So sometimes the life push you to change the plan. Yeah? Do you understand? Are you agree?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what the training means, what are we going to use, how and where are we going to train? It's a very interesting thing. I talked about the weather condition and the place what you can use. Uh, there was a lot of training, maybe a lot of rain, maybe can change your plan. And that's why we always have another option. You can make the training session, you can planify that. But if you know the forecast will change, the time will change, you have to give them another option too. You have to be another option. Using the means or the disappoint, they can burden, but having the best mean does not necessarily mean that we will obtain the best result. That is training mean. The really important thing is know what to do and how to do it and when. This does ensure us the best results within our reach. Workload distribution. That's what I'm saying. Workload distribution. Knowing how we are going to vary workloads, how to combine them with recoveries and above all, when to apply them can mean the difference between progress and failure. Training, a lot of things to do, does not mean that you improve equally. So the calendar will define, you need to know when it's scheduled training session. The training means what are we going to use and how. And the workload distribution is very important. Training a lot does not mean that you improve equally. Workload is very important, and maybe you can change it depending how your athlete is feeling. You know, the most of the women have a difficulty to make a good training session when she has a period, a monthly period. Some athletes can train, and this is important to know, and also important to know when the competitions are coming. How can they change the period? It's one of the most important points when we working with women athletes. Okay. How can we build an effective session of training? We can see several parts on the screen. Objectives or training sessions. Quality of formulation. When we talking about the quality of the training session, clarity is very important. Why we talking about clarity? They must be understood without problems. It could be accessible. It has not to be possible to achieve those goals, realistic with the particularities of the practitioner. So it's very important. Specific. It could be specific, must be specific. Prepare objectives for each person or work group. Maybe in the same sessions, there are guys with different ages, but they need to work together. Maybe the distance is different. A 16 years girl must run 80 meters, but a 12 years boy, not more than 50, maybe 40 meters in the same moment. Quantifiable elements. There must be an objective way to find out if we have achieved those objectives. So when we build up an effective sessions, we need to take care with these principles. Which part of the sessions we have? And these are the warm-up, the main phase, and the cool-down stretching. Here I want to take some words, talk about some words. When I'm teaching athletes, I'm always using the present of the fathers too. And I'm making almost every weekend Zoom, calling Zoom for all my group. It's like almost 80 persons with parents and athletes. And I'm always talking about the part of the training step by step, trying to make understand them how I build up the training session with the most important part, with which part they need to care, which how they need to wear during the training, which kind of shoes they need to use. Why I'm doing that? Because also it's part of the session. Not only the warm-up, the main phase, or the cool-down. It's also where we doing that, when, and how they need to bring with them. Let me talk about the warm-up part. What does it mean, warm-up? As everybody knows, we understand by warm-up up to be the set of general and preparatory physical exercises that are carried out before starting a more intense physical activity. The warming up is gentle and progressive. This is a mobilization at the muscle and joint level to subsequently carry out intense efforts, avoid injuries, and obtaining maximum performance. I'm always saying to my athletes in every course, the warm-up is your insurance. And I saying that because it's really true. This is your insurance. Somewhere, I don't know where I've been, somebody asked me, what is the most important thing, part of the session? And I say the warm-up. And the guy asked me, why you say that? Because the warm-up prepare your body to do something well. If you aren't make your warm-up good, in the good form, you can injure and finish your training, finish your session, and maybe finish your year too. So that's why I'm putting a lot of importance to the warm-up. What is prevented with warming up? The warm-up aims to prevent the appearance of injuries while perform the physical exercise that forces the body, because the physical exercise really forces the body to develop greater effort at an organic, muscular, nervous, and psychological level. It's very, very important to know. The warming up have 4 types of, or we can say that 4 times of sports warm-up. Types of objectives are warming up. The general warm-up, the specific warm-up, dynamic warm-up, and preventive warm-up. What are its phase, the warm-up? It consists of performing the series of exercises that cause an increase in muscle temperature. Sometimes I'm going parks and also in gymnasiums, also in how can you say, the people performing power, and they're going in and starting the section with several exercises of stretching. And I just want to help them, and they looking to me as like an enemy. Why I say them stretching isn't so good, for example, before strength training. And sometimes we need to help them, or very early in the section. We planning the section in early in the morning with runners, especially, who are making the training section without eating, and they always always say to them, make a massage on your body. Try to help the muscles getting warm with your massage. Okay. So it consists of performing different series of exercises. We started with them, increase the warm-up time. That is, at first you warm up with low intensity exercises and then with high intensity exercises. So as not to force to the body to prepare little by little. So general dynamic activation, increase in body temperature. dynamic stretching, activation or increase in body temperature, dynamic stretching and specific dynamic activation, and tune up. They call tune up. The general and specific warm-up, it could be general, it's like 15 minutes. And in case of a general warm-up and 30, 40 minutes or more, it is a specific warm-up. Not everybody doing that, especially when the athletes coming late to the training session. I'm always putting a lot of, I'm calling them the attention, also the parents. They can just getting in the training session where we are. They have to do warm up step by step. So it's also sometimes a problem because they coming in the training session and asking, what can I do, while the other athletes are working in the main phase maybe and the training. So that's why I'm teaching them seriously and step by step, what does it mean warm up and how can they do that. I'm also observed before a normal training session, the guys using like 15, more or less 20 minutes just to warm up. And before the competition, they're doing one and a half an hour, just making warm up. And I asked them, why you do that? They're using a lot of energy. Why don't you do as like before your training? And I try to concentrate warming up. It could be and must be the same time before the training section, and maybe a little bit more before a competition. Are you agree? Yeah? Do
Yes,
you
yes.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the session, the main part.
Excuse me, sir, please again, last slide, show your slide, sir.
Back. Yeah. What happened? Are you
Yeah.
you lost the slides?
Yes, warming up and what types of phase, part of the warm up. That's right.
Can you see it on the screen or not?
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet, sir.
Okay. And now?
Ah, yeah, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, session main part.
Yeah, dynamic.
Okay, this is
Thank you,
where
sir.
this is when the main. Thank you very much to call me attention. I was lost. This is where the main exercise and tasks of the session are developed. It's usually the part of takes the most time. If we made like warm up 30, 40 minutes, the main part it could be hours. It depends the units that we will use during the main part. This is where the main exercise and tasks of the session are developed. Yeah. When the athlete attempts to work on 2 or more units in a session, the athlete should always work on very first neuromuscular training, coordination, technical training, speed strength, and maximum strength. This is the first part. There was a very big discourse. Yeah, I saw a lot of persons, for example, go to the gym, and first of all, they get on the treadmill and running 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, and they start to make strength training. And I'm always calling attention, and always athletes. Hey, teacher, can I change the session? Very first that, and the other, no. Everything have the place where you need to do it and the time where you need to do it. And the second part, if you have different units, the second part, this is the energy production training. Emphasis on endurance, aerobic, and anaerobic lactic verbs. Why the neuromuscular training is the very first? Because we're using always the central nervous system or brain, and the fatigue will come if we doing exercises. The fatigue will come, the muscle fatigue, and also the central nervous system fatigue. That's why always speed training, the strength training, technical emphasis, it could be the very first part. And the second part are the energy production. We can call energy production, but we can do an emphasis on aerobic and anaerobic lactic. For example, coming and I'm talking about the high-level athlete and the heptathlete. The very first we're using, as like in the heptathlon, the very first part, we're making hurdle exercise, some runs to first and three hurdles, and then we're working on other technique parts as like high jump, progression, the high jump, some exercise for high jump, to develop some part of the takeoff, develop some part of the approximation, and then we're working with repetition reps as like 110, 120, 150 meters running in some series. Or other ways, we start to work with throwing exercise, some technical parts, and then we're going to work with strength training. And at the end of the training, we make some aerobic endurance. So normally, everybody knows that, but this is my work to talk to you, how it works, and how we have to, and how we need to work. So the very last part is back to the calm. At the end of the session, this is it's very interesting. most of the guys, they don't like to do that and just forget, or they are very hurry and they're just leaving and forget to make the calm down. We should end with a good feeling, and we should not leave to stressed or active. It is recommended to do fun and recreation exercise. Yeah, it's a pity. Almost no one do it. Just the performing athletes and the young athletes who have a very clear what they want to do and where they want to go in the future. So mostly of the young athletes, kids, they don't care of this part. Sometimes high-level athletes even that don't do that, doesn't do that because they just lazy and they just tired and have no more time. They are hurried to do something out of the training track. So it was the presentation of the training session. As we talked, there are different parts, and we have to care with some part of the training, how we do it, when we do it, which part of the year is it. So it's compounding with different effects, with different kind of exercise. Okay, have any questions?
Yes, it's question time.
Yeah, can I see smiling you? Everybody's very serious. Just looking to the to my face. Yeah, it's very hard. No, it's not so easy because the variability of the training session, it's depending of the what part of the year we're doing. So it's very, very well. Yeah.
Thomas, I saw Mr. Kid raising his hand.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kid, you would like to ask a question? Your time, please, Mr. Kid.
I'm listening.
Hello, Mr. Kid. Mr. Kid is from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Mr. Kid, are you raising your hand? You would like to ask question?
Also someone from Malaysia. Hakini.
Okay, goes to Malaysia, please. While we are waiting for Mr. Kid.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm Kelvin. I'm calling from Malaysia.
Yeah.
I'm a coach in Malaysia. So here's my question with regards to the warm-up session, because I'm a coach in a club. So we recruited quite a number of young athletes from other schools. Now, what's happening is this coming few months, there'll be like some sports day in school. So these athletes, they do train in school as well. But after they finish their training session in school, they would come over to the stadium to train with us. Now, the thing is, I noticed a trend, whereas every time they arrive at the stadium, they would tell me that they have done their warm-up in school. And because they came in late, so they would like to proceed with that particular afternoon's program. So I'm keen to know whether is it valid? Can we consider it as a warm-up if they have done it in school, or should I get them to do another session of warm-up before they actually start with my program?
Yeah, it's very interesting, the question.
Yeah.
My answer is you very first we have to know how many times past between the school activity and your training activity, because it's if it's more than half an hour, during that time the muscles can lost the flexibility, and practically you have to move once more, not the complete warm-up, but you have to do step by step. Make you have to introducing some movement to the temperature of muscles must be increased, and also especially in young athletes, it's not so as like a professional athlete, but it's even more than half an hour. You have to do step by step the same, but not as long as the normal training session, because you know, maybe they playing football, and this to training will be a throwing session, so you have to warm up the upper body and the core, and also the arms, the joints. So it's depend the training session when you plan. Okay, but if they finished like a couple of minutes before and directly coming to the training, and you will run with them, also you have to ask it how many times you run, how many times you played, because maybe you have to change the training session. If they playing more than 1 hour, you can do with them velocity. You can do with them because it's very high risk to get an injury. So it's depending the activity what they have done before, and also when they finish that. So I also happened with me also happened a lot of times. So they don't want to make any more warming up. I know, but you have to concentrate this. They need to know. This is very important. This is your insurance. That's why I'm wrote on the screen. This is your insurance. So even they just finished right now, depending the training session what you have to do, you need to warm up the part of the body maybe, but they didn't use that. Okay, so it could be less. It could be less, but they use that like 2 hours before the warm up. It must be complete. It doesn't matter what they're doing before and how. If passing more than 2 hours, they have to do again the warm-up session.
Thanks, coach.
Nothing. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hello, Sir Thomas. Hello.
Mohammed, I heard you.
Yes, this is Muhammad Nabil from Pakistan. I'm doing a job in a university in Pakistan. Some students are coming on training on bicycle from hostel to ground arena. Kindly,
my student too. My student.
Can we consider bicycle warm up?
Yes, we can, but you have to know it's uphill or downhill, was because it's absolutely different. Yeah, yeah, it's a good question, but you know, after yeah, you have to ask it how fast he can, how fast they can, because it could be the part. Yeah, it's sure. It could be the part of the training truly, I have two athletes. It's a couple of years before. They're using that system. They always coming by bicycle. It was the part of the training session, the warming up, because they came like more than 10 kilometers. So it's more than enough to to tell they are warm up. Yeah. So it could be. It always you have to ask it how fast, how strong, what you used a lot of energy or not. Uphill, downhill. But it could be. It could be. Why not? The
After
problem is when arriving, when the others arriving too, and the others doesn't move before. So it's a challenge. And you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
After that, we can do some stretching exercises after bicycle warm-up.
Not, yeah, the stretching
only-
you have to carry stretching before because the stretching before the strength training it isn't good. Just a dynamic warm-up. Don't forget if you're using weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting, just to increase some capacities, please don't use stretching, muscle stretching before the training. Okay, have a negative effect, losing power the muscle. Okay, any other question?
Yes, I have one question.
Roslinda.
Yeah, I'm
Listen.
from Malaysia.
Yeah.
My event is pole vault. Okay,
Yeah.
I have one question. Refer to your slide, the main program. Normally we do technical speed. I mean activation muscle. Yeah, and I used to plan my training program like that. For first day is technical, second day is speed, third day is strength. Sometime last 2 weeks I think I do I present my training plan. So when I got question something like technical is more on lower body, speed lower body, and strength also lower body and upper body. So following this all lower body. So I believe technical is more intensity, high intensity, right? And speed also, strength also. So I believe can we play with the loading and volume to plan the program?
No, it just was an example, which is the what kind of training we can do the very first part. Not all that what you read.
No, I mean
It's good.
following days, not same days.
Okay, the very first part of the training, it could be speed, it could be strength training, it could be, but if you have a special training for upper body and it's like push-ups or bench press, and then you going to make a split training, it could be happen because you aren't use the same muscles, right? You're using different muscles. Okay. Or maybe you just throwing medicine balls to the wall, sitting, and then because it start to rain and it is in the program, and you start with the medicine balls in under the roof, and then finish the rain and you just go out, making a specific warm-up, and you start to make sprinting. That was your question. You can do that, but you can do the same high intensity in the morning session and the afternoon section, speed training. You can. It's very high risk to injury.
Okay, all right. Yep, thank you.
Are you agree? That was your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Also some trainers using making some activation with weights, some activation before to go to the field to make block training maybe, or some speed, short distance speeds. They using activation in the warm-up room with weights, not big weights, just like 30-40% of the maximum weight. Okay, any other question? How did you like my presentation for the session? Are you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's very, very well informative.
Okay, because sometimes replanning. You have two plans for one day. Here, for example, I talk about Paraguay. We are checking out by our electronic system what the weather will come today. But it's always changing. So I'm making two plans for one day. It's similar, but it could be used in the track and field place, or we can use it in the gym. So it isn't the same work, but they're working with the same muscles. We're using potencies, jumpings, short runs. You can do. It isn't the same work, but it's very similar. So my planning is always like this. Today happened that the plan was absolutely in outdoor, and we made exercise in indoor about the weather. Okay. If somebody wants to know some part of exercise or units of training, how many units you can do, it's also absolutely it's so much thing can you so much thing can be an influence over the session, the training gauge, the objectives, the part of the year, which part of the year, the weather, the place where you can training. So include it all. It's very nice also to do. It's a work. It's a lot of work. I'm always telling to my athletes, the parents of them, mostly they are very young. I have a very large group, like 35 guys under 16 years, and I have some athletes, some high-level athletes. So I need to different training sessions. Sometimes I'm organizing training sessions to do together because they are as like an example, and it could be very very good motivation for young athletes to do with the prepared athletes to do the same section, and they moving. It's works better than just teaching them. They can see, they can compare, they can do with them, and it's very good option. And I'm using a lot with that. And also I ask them to talk to the young athletes. How can they do? How can they take the rest? How can they eat? Also the hydration during the training session. So also part of the build up the athletes in the future. Okay, so that's all. If you haven't any questions, you can take a break and again, like a couple of minutes, and
Some more question, maybe, before we have break. One question, one more, maybe.
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from India. My name is Gursimran Singh. And sir, I want to know about passive warm-up. I have listened regarding passive warm-up. Is it good or not? Such as passive warm-up.
Passive.
Active warm-up, active warm-up and passive. No, sorry. Active warm-up and passive warm-up. Such as
Passive warm-up. Active or passive warm-up. Yeah.
Is it good or not?
You know, the passive warm-up using just a high-level athletes, and not even not, but high-level athletes using that. What does it mean, passive warm-up? Passive warm-up could be a massage. Passive warm-up could be a practice with kinesiology, working with the athletes. And also they can use electric stimulations or stretching. But I told you before the action, it doesn't so good stretching. With young athletes, it's practically it isn't work. They don't use the warm up. Mostly is dynamic. So it could be, it must be dynamic. So I know passive warm-up using very high level athletes. I talk with Jamaican sprinters, but it was very interesting. American sprinters. In one times in Korea, I met with an American sprinter trainer, and he said sometimes 3 or sometimes 2 hours before the competition or training session, they running a full 100 or 200 meter, and they just keep up the muscle environment stability the warm muscles, and they're using this system that you mentioned, but normally that doesn't work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. This is not my opinion. We tried a couple of times and we forgot that. Absolutely.
Okay. So I think this is the end of the morning session for the first day. So Thomas, you can go to rest. Have a nice sleep of us. Have a nice dream of us. So, and
thank you very much, and special thanks to all of you to listen to me and give me possibilities to share my knowledge with you. And thank you very much, with Deepak, and it was very good. Yeah, I laughed a lot after that. You were right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day for all of you, and we meet each other tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
See you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, okay.
Have a nice lunch. Have a nice lunch. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the lunch time, break time. So we
See you
will meet
tomorrow.
again in 1 hour, 1 hour, 4 minutes. So we will come back at the class at 1 hour, Jakarta, Bangkok time. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
later.
See you later. Thank you.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Yes, see you tomorrow, Tama. Thank you so much for your effort.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.